Hey there. So I want to come on and talk about a podcast that I just watched. It's with Aubrey Marcus and Teal Swan. And for those of you who don't know, Aubrey Marcus, they're both big names out there in the spiritual community. Aubrey Marcus has a very popular and well-known podcast, and Teal Swan is and has been for many, many years, a spiritual teacher. They're both unique and interesting in their own ways, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed the conversation that they had. Me, on the other hand, I was a bit sort of taken aback by a lot of what was said in the podcast. And it was about an hour, hour and 45 minutes long or something like that. It was kind of long, probably longer than I really should have listened, but I figured if I started it, I needed to finish it. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of go through some of the things that they talked about. I'm not going to go through everything because there was a lot, and I could probably sit here and talk for an hour on just one of the subjects, actually. But the first thing was masculine and feminine dynamics, the role of the male and the female. Another one was trust. They briefly spoke about love in there, and then they went into polyamory and some other topics. So I'm just going to start off with the masculine and feminine dynamics. I very much disagree with the way that she is proposing the masculine and feminine dynamics. So there's a big movement out there for men to really take ownership of the masculine role in a relationship, like fully take ownership of it. And for the feminine to take full ownership of the feminine side of the relationship and fully own her femininity, which in and of itself sounds wonderful and beautiful. And I do actually think that there is a bit that men do need to step more into the masculine within themselves, and women do need to step more into the feminine within themselves. But it does not mean that we don't and should not embrace the masculine and feminine within us. In fact, I believe and argue and am a huge proponent of the fact that we do have those two energies, and we have to fully understand those energies, and we have to have a solid base of them both within us and be able to tap into either at any given time. If you are choosing in a relationship to be more in your feminine role or more in your masculine role, then that's fine. But it's all on a spectrum. And I really wish I had a dry erase board and I would be able to show it better that way. But just imagine that there is a line of, masculine and feminine. And if a man is in his full masculine, then yes, it's very beneficial for a woman to be in her full feminine. You have to be like an equal distance from the middle, like from neutrality, as the other. Like they have to equal each other out. So if a man is, more in his feminine, then the woman would need to be a little bit more in her masculine. And it plays out that way. And that's the way the balance of a relationship would work. But that doesn't mean that woman or that man doesn't fully understand and embrace, when they need to, the opposite polarity. So I'm going to give an example. So I'm in a partnership, I'm in a relationship, and I have more of the feminine role, and my partner has more of the masculine role. So let's say my partner is doing what the man would do. He's out hunting and gathering. He is out hunting and getting us food to bring it all home for us. And I'm at home with the children, nurturing, taking care of them, cooking meals, being more of the motherly feminine role. He's away, I'm home alone. In comes somebody, breaks into the house, and I have to defend myself and my children. I better darn well be able to tap into that masculine side of me and have that fully developed and defend myself and defend my children. I better have that ability. If we fully step into just these roles of I am the feminine, I'm only in my feminine, or I am masculine, I'm all in my masculine, we're setting ourselves up for loads of problems. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. And it's a pretty big subject, and that's something that we could talk about for a long time. But I want to go into the next one, which is trust. And they were talking about trust within a relationship. And I don't want to speak necessarily for them, but I really just want to talk about the subject in and of itself. The example that was given, again in this podcast, the example that was given was that there's this man and he is in a relationship with a woman. And he breaks up with this woman 2 times. So they break up, she goes away, comes back, breaks up again, goes away, comes back. So on the 3rd occasion, he is struggling with her trust, like she doesn't trust him. And he is struggling with that. So Teal's response was that he needs to do everything that he can. He's got to be in it for the long haul and the long game to do everything that he can to prove that he's trustworthy to this woman. Because the woman needs, she's there as this victim and she needs him to prove to her all the time, over and over, that he's trustworthy. Ugh. No. Like, no. So first of all, if that happens, so if this man breaks up with her twice and she comes back, that is her choice. She is choosing to come back into the relationship. So she is coming back in, and she needs to come back in with the level of accountability and ownership of that relationship. So she needs to come back in and saying, yes, I am choosing to trust you. I am choosing to trust you. That's up to her. That is her responsibility to choose whether she does or doesn't trust him. And that's it. End of story. We are not here to validate each other. We are not here to prove to each other, to do a song and dance for each other. One person in a relationship can't make somebody feel something. I can't make somebody feel something. Somebody else can't make me feel something. It is up to each one of us to take ownership and responsibilities of our own feelings and the way that we show up in a relationship. It's a complete victim mentality by saying, and can get you into a codependent state and a relationship with somebody if you do take the stance of, yeah, they can make me feel this way. They make me feel bad. They make me feel good. Why would you give your power to another person to make you feel any way? It is up to you to choose whether or not or how you show up in a relationship. And it's not up to the other person to act any way or be any way towards you to make you feel safe or comfortable. If you don't feel safe and comfortable, this person, the man, is showing up the way that he shows up. You are showing up the way that you show up. And if you don't like what he's giving, then walk away. Don't make him change. Or the other way around. If you don't like what she's giving, then you walk away. You don't make her change or show up in a way for you. I mean, that's absurd. You're just setting yourself up for problems. And I think that the difference between the way that perhaps maybe Teal sees this and the way that I see it is I believe that we need to take full responsibility and autonomy for ourselves in all situations, in relationships, in life, in everything. We need to take full responsibility for ourselves. It is not up to anybody else to show up in any way to make me or make a person feel any way. We only have control of us. We only have control of our own feelings, our own thoughts, and our own actions. We don't have control of somebody else, nor should we have the expectation of somebody else to show up in any fashion other than the way that they do show up. You can communicate your needs to somebody. If they don't want to show up and meet those needs, that's up to them. And then it's up to you to walk away if they're not meeting your needs. So anyway, the last thing I want to talk about, I know there's a lot. The last thing I want to talk about is love. It is not showing love to a partner by changing the way that you are. You're not showing love by placating to their needs. You know, it's interesting. and I will definitely do a video on this because it's such a big topic. But love, in English, we have one word. We have love, right? It's a 4-letter word. We have love for all sorts of different emotions. Like, there's all sorts of different emotions around love. And I mean, the Greeks, I think they have 8 different words for love. Like, there's a different word for love that you have for your children, a different word for romantic love, a different word for the love of a beautiful scene, of artwork, of whatever. There are different words for different types of love. And then also there's love for yourself. All sorts of different words. In a relationship, it is probably one of the most complicated forms of love, because it does require 2 people to make it work. It can't be one-sided. So in the dynamic of us being fully autonomous in our life and in the way that we show up in the world, I mean, that's necessary for our own spiritual development, and it's necessary for the other person's spiritual development. But when you show up in love, it is a divine love. It is a love and a respect for the reflection that you see in the other person. If that person is showing up to you in the relationship, showing up in that relationship with a reflection of you that you admire and appreciate, and that's ultimately it. I mean, it's much bigger than that, but it's a divine partnership. It's a divine relationship. It's not, I'm going to meet your wound, and then you're just in this constant dynamic of trying to heal each other's wounds. It's a divine partnership, which is at a whole different level. And anyway, I've talked a lot. If you're listening at this point, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions about any of that, anything that I just talked about, please feel free to reach out. I am sure that I will do more videos on any one of those subjects in much more detail. But if you want to check out an interesting podcast, check theirs out. It's Aubrey Marcus and Teal Swan. And I think it came out, I don't know, probably about a week or so ago. I think I'm guessing a little bit, the 10th of December. That's it. I hope you all have a beautiful day. I love you, and I will talk to you soon.